What's up, honey love? What's up, girl? What's up, little honey love? I see you. What you doing, real Sonya? What's up, Sonya? Fat Mama Sonya. What's up, Fat Mama Sonya? What's up, Fat Mama Sonya? What's up, MAYDAY? Lord MAYDAY. What's up, boy? What's up, Lord MAYDAY? What's up, my boy Doc? What you say, Doc? What you say, Doc? What you say, Doc? It's my big boy, Doc. What you say? All right. Welcome back to another week, another episode of Game Dog Talk. And in the building, we have on the panel today the legendary schoolboy, Mr. Richard Garcia. How you doing today, sir?
Doing good. How you doing?
Real good.
Good. Salute to everybody in the panel. Thanks for joining in. I mean, in the chat and the panel. Thanks for joining in.
Yes, sir. And we have with us today the legendary Bakary, only in America. Kennels, how you doing today, sir?
Peace and love to the panel as well, and to the brothers in the chat, brothers and sisters. I'm sorry, in the chat. Much love.
Yes, indeed. So, man, how's everybody been doing, brother Bach? How you been?
Oh, everybody, everything's been lovely on this end, brother. Everything's been lovely on this end.
Wonderful. How, schoolboy? How you been?
Good. Doing a lot of pit bull stuff, traveling and all that. You know, having a good time. Doing good. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. So, before we get started, schoolboy, why don't you tell everybody how did it go with you and Ram at the dog show last Saturday? I think it was.
Oh yeah, it was last Saturday. We had a good time, man. A good turnout. Got to see a lot of old friends and make some new friends, and there was some nice dogs, and Ram did a good job, man. So anybody looking for a confirmation judge, if you want to get a hold of Ram, he'll do a real good job, real professional, nice. Had a good time.
Awesome.
Good stuff. Yeah. Okay, let me do a quick roll call. Let's see what we got in the chat here. We got Life of a Wash Boy, salute to you in the chat. Martinez Game Dog, salute to you. Arrowhead Kennels in the building. Mark Wonderlynch. BTKIK, KDIK, Mississippi, salute to you. Lefty American Pitbull Terrier. Miami Snoopy 305. Hardy Dogs, Pennsylvania. City Boy Kennel, salute family. Let's see here. What's that? I can't see. Careless Salem, salute family. I can't see it. Tony Gardner. JT Sports Dog Enthusiast. AJ. Dogman RT, salute to you. The lovely brown sugar Tay Brown up in here. How you doing, sister?
Tay.
Right to the lady.
King Cobra Kennels. Todd Green. William Torres. Blackyard Bulldogs. Rhodes Kennels. Luciano. Dan G. Bob Otto. Woodline. What's that? Milton Mack, salute to you. R.A. Nixon. M-Line, salute to you, M-Line. Tiger. Paris Jackson. Anthony Paul. Run them down. Dread, salute to you. 614 Tree. Dan G. Flint, Michigan. Walsh Kennels, Combine, salute to you. Let's see, you skipped on me here. Hoger Kennels. Wolfie Studios. Salute to everybody in the building, man. I can't read everybody, but thank y'all for joining us. Spread the word. Go ahead and share the video on all your social media and all that good stuff, y'all. All right. Feel free to ask questions. We got some questions from the community post. Salute to your bank statement, Kennels. I see you in the building. We got some questions from the community. And if you guys want some questions answered from the panel, send a super chat by clicking the money sign, and we'll get to it guaranteed. All right, so let's get right down to it. One question we have is, Would love to hear your opinions on raising game-bred puppies as household pets. All right, we can start with you, Bakri, on that one. How do you feel about raising game-bred puppies as pets?
Oh, I love it. I mean, I feel like the best box joints is when you bring them in the house. First of all, you just had to look at it this way. If you put a dog on a chain or in a pen, how many commands do you get that dog a day, a week even? You don't give it too many. You don't give it too many commands at all. But when you have a dog that's in your house, that dog learns a whole lot of commands. It knows what you want it to do and what you don't want it to do. So yeah, I love making game dogs, house dogs, as well as they can be, they can be used both as house dogs and as hunters.
Yes, sir. How do you feel about that, Mr. Garcia?
Yeah, same. They talk about bonding all the time. That's part of it. The more you can communicate with them or work with them, teach them this and that, the better it is, because they'll listen to you. They understand, what you want out of them more, for me, even just having a dog in the house, it's good security. Because like I've mentioned before, people sometimes they're more afraid of dogs than guns, So, they let you know who's coming and who's there before you even know it, before they get to the door and all that. Not saying for like attack training or anything like that, but dogs naturally protect you anyways. They do it naturally anyway. So there's that aspect. I had kids. They're good with, kids and dogs being raised together, all that. I'm old country, so that we've always had dogs inside the house, Some guys don't, and they don't see the benefits of it, or they think maybe it'll mess with their head or something, but it really don't, a lot of guys, back in the day, even when they're in keep, they would have them in their bedroom, or they'd have a separate room in the house for the dog, or in their bed even, so it has a lot of benefits to it, I'm all for it.
Yes, indeed. Salute to the brother Meredith Campbell. Meredith Campbell in the super chat. Appreciate the love, fam. He says, "Gotta come and pay my tithes." Salute to you, brother. Salute to you, Meredith Campbell.
Salute, brother.
Yeah, salute, Meredith. Thank you.
Mr. Gumbo, salute to you in the super chat. Appreciate the love, Mr. Gumbo. He says, "Salute, General, Schoolboy, and Bach. How do I stop my game dog from being a crybaby? Because he's always." He said he's always with me, shaking my head. I'll let you take that one, brother Bach.
First of all, you can't stop it. I mean, that's just his way of just showing his love. You know what I mean? And hell, you get them with you all the time. A lot of times, what you do is create a dog that don't even want to eat or drink when you leave a present. So, I mean, anytime you bond, each dog bonds differently. Some go harder than others, just like people. You know what I mean? Some roll with you harder than others. So that dog just showing his love and affection. I mean, I don't know how you're going to get to stop crying unless you stop having the dog around you, and then he's just going to cry a little bit more. So I have no way in the world of telling you. You must be doing something right. It'd be different if he's crying to get away from you, but he's crying to be near you. So you're doing a good job.
Indeed. Schoolboy, what's your take on that?
Yeah, don't stop it. Just, it is what it is, It's kind of like with family sometimes, you get tired of them hanging around and they be around, and then, you want them to stay away or get away or not spend so much time. And then when they're gone, you wish they was there, That'd be
right.
The same thing with the dog, You're like, where's my buddy? But no, it's good. Like Bach said, you must be doing something right. The closer they get to you, the better, actually.
Oh, yes.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got my boy Doc, Mr. Gumbo. Doc's still a crybaby with me. Like, as soon as I come in the feed or something, or he want to be the first one getting attention. He all that hyena bullshit he be doing. I'm like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Why you keep doing that shit? You know what I'm saying? But he's a good dog. He's a real good dog. He just, when it comes to me He wants to be around me. He want all the attention. He get jealous. He don't want other dogs around me, and that can work to my benefit if I use it right. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
so he's a good dog. Let's see here. All right, let's get to question number 2. Was what dog or dog man set the standard that you follow, Mr. Garcia?
Mm. You know, I didn't really have a mentor, you know, but I got a lot of help, a lot of information from Ronald Boyles. Just for the fact he was so far away, you know, he was in Florida at the time and I was in California. But I called him all the time, you know, had them $500 phone bills we used to have, you know, a month during the day. And he, uh, he gave me a lot of good tips, a lot of good information. He was always straight up, never lied, never, you know, misrepresented anything. I had a lot of respect for him, you know. Uh, Learned some breeding from him, some conditioning, you know, some just just how to raise dogs. You know, he's honestly he's where I got the idea where you don't need a whole bunch of dogs to have a bunch of good ones. You know, you can spend more time with them, you can do more with them. You know, and the ones you do keep because your yard is small, they're quality. You know, that him. You know, I got a little bit from several old timers here and there. You know, they a lot of them weren't real forthcoming with information. But once you get to know them, you know, they'll let you know stuff. Dunleavy, you know, had some good breeding techniques. Bill Petrie, old school, kind of, you know, keep them game and, you know, be hard on them and stuff like that, you know. But a lot of different people that I came in contact with. But I think the most information I got from someone back in the day was Ronald Boyles.
Okay, okay. Brother Bach, what would you say? What dog or dog man um, set the standard that you follow?
Kind of like what Brother Garcia just said. It wasn't when I came. I didn't have. Well, I didn't have a mentor. I kind of like piece people together that I got stability from in different aspects of the dog game. But it wasn't like one. The guy that brought me into dogs, he really was a good person, but his knowledge of the dogs wasn't that great. So he kind of like put me in a direction of different people. And then along the way, I start getting around people that was, you know, that but were pretty good. Like, but I would have to say, if I had to set my standard, it would have had to be on the East Coast Assassin, J.R. Parker. He was the standard in terms of his conditioning, his schooling, his breeding. So it would have had to be between him and Mr. T. May rest in peace from Roadblock, McNasty's brother. Him and Mr. Bob Pitts from the Gusto Boys. Uh, you know, I kind of pattern a lot of things after. You know what I'm saying? So, but no, I didn't have one specific person. And I'm sorry, and I would have to mention Brother Gary Morris. He was the one that really showed me a lot of things indirectly and part directly. So yeah, it wasn't one person. You know, just like different people, I took certain aspects of their game and kind of just collaged it all together, put it in my own.
Right.
Yeah. As far as dogs go, the dog that set my standard for gameness was a little dog I got from Boyles named Ronnie. I won with him, then I lost the grand champion Badger, but he was what one of those you could call a dead game, you know, just unbelievably game. And that's kind of in the future when I got my own family of dogs and did all that. That's kind of who I patterned uh, as far as heart and intensity and that wild kind of primal behavior out of dogs was after that little Ronnie dog. He was a 34-pound dog, just a neat little dog, smart, good air, you know, ability. Wasn't a bone crusher, but he could bite pretty good. and had good balance. Just, you know, like we talk about them BOLIO dogs, you know, all that, you know, he would kind of an all around athlete. That's kind of the type I like, you know. He had good finish, you know, stuff like that. But he had a lot of heart, and that, you know, when I seen dogs like him, then those are the ones I would try and concentrate on, you know.
Yes, indeed. Get Mr. Gumbo. He back in the super chat. Mr. Gumbo says, Joe, y'all didn't give me the answer I wanted to hear. That crying drives me crazy. But you know what, bro? Mr. Gumbo, you probably got the dog. Do you have the dog in the house? If the dog is in the house, you might as well house train the dog to let you know when the guy used the bathroom, man. Because if you got the dog in the house in the crate, he gonna be crying and whining to get out to come fuck with you. If you got a house dog, you might as well spend the time to teach him to go outside to use the bathroom. That way you can let him be free and run around the house and shit. He won't be whining and shit. He only whining because you got him in the crate, bro. I bet you. He want to be free.
Yeah. Here's the thing too. Because he's close to you, you know, and it's annoying, maybe, you know, you don't want the answer I want to give you to make him stop. So just, yeah, I mean, if he's a good one, keep him, tolerate it, you know. And you're not going to do that with every dog, you know. You know, if you have more than one, you know, you ain't going to treat them all that way. But, you know, it is what it is, man. It's like Bill Fiedler said one time, you know, he went by the name Fiddler, you know. If you're in the dogs long enough, everything's going to happen to you. You name it, and it's going to happen to you. And unfortunately, them whining, crying, you know, types, you'll get one of those every once in a while, you know. Maybe just one in your whole life, or one every now and again here and there. But it's bound to happen. So, he's a good dog, just tolerate it.
Yeah, you'll be all right, man. You'll be all right. Yeah, that used to get on my nerve when I was younger. Before I knew, I realized what to do with him, because I used to keep him in the crate, and I had him in the crate in my room, and I just realized how stupid that was, because the dog was like, "Man, let me the fuck out of here!" Like he see me walking past and shit. He don't want to just be sitting in there. Once I let him out, and I actually trained him to use the bathroom outside and shit, I had no problems with that dog. You know, you gotta give him some toys and shit to do, something to destroy. Otherwise, you're gonna fuck up your couches and shit, you know?
Yeah, keep them busy. It's amazing. We don't think about it all the time, but, you know, back in the day, if you had 10 or 20 or 30 or 50 or some of these guys, 200 dogs, imagine all the noise, you know? And we learned to tolerate it, because fuckers don't shut up, you know? If you're out there. Sometimes, like during the day or at night, you know, they'll settle down, they're quiet. But when you're around dogs like that on your yard, regardless of the size, it's noisy. And we put up with it, you know.
What you got to look at too, right? Whether it's 2 damn dogs or 200. If you're just coming out and seeing your dogs, it's like everybody got their hands up at saying, "Oh, me, come to me, come to me." I mean, they gonna do whatever they can do to get your attention, and some, like you said, mouthier than others. Some are more jealous than others. If you don't, like, I know that I had to go to certain dogs first on the yard. If not, they're gonna bark the whole time I'm out there. So I would have to go, and some of the dogs wasn't as, you know, barking. They wouldn't care to do all that. They just wanted their feed or whatever, but some wanted that attention. If you didn't give it to them first, you're going to have the whole time you're out there cleaning the feed, you're going to hear them. But at the same time, some dogs are mouthy. You got to know that, like, I'll say it again, REDBOY dogs, BOLIO dogs, those dogs is mouthy dogs. Yeah. I mean, you might as well don't even get neither one of them lines if you don't have a problem with with noises, because you can't even beat that out of them. I'm just being, you can take your little BB guns and all that stuff. Yeah, you might do that today, but tomorrow they still yapping. You can do it, then they're gonna do it the next day. And then you got some dogs that won't make any noise after you do the little BB gun and shoot it in the air. Now that they go run in their dog houses, and you can have a quiet yard. So you have to know what type of dogs you got too. You know what I'm saying? But then again, if you, like you said, I don't understand the situation. The dog in the house, it's a dog in the crate. Is the dog in the crate near where it see you and it wants to get out? Because I got certain dogs that I can't put in the crates. They will tear their teeth up. They will break it. They will bite. Blood is all everywhere. They will not stay in the crate. You can't make it stay in the crate. So if it's in a crate, then you might have a problem. I don't know. I doubt if the dog is out in front of you crying. I'm sure that's not happening. So 9 out of 10, that dog's in the crate or in a pen or in a chain. So, yeah, that's all I know.
Mr. Gumbo says the dog rides with me on the road, lives in the house. He's house trained, Well, man, he just love you, man. The dog love you, man.
Yeah, that's it.
He just love you, man. That's like, man, how do I get my daughter to leave me alone? She always come here and want me to watch TV with her. The dog love you, man. I mean, you a good owner, If the dog was staying away from you, hiding and shivering every time it see you, then you a piece of shit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But that's good. You just love on the dog. That's all. He'll grow up.
The brother said he need a break from. Well, you done created the monster. You got it with you.
Yeah. Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I would never tell nobody don't show so much love. I mean,
right?
It is what it is, man.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we got another question. A guy asked a question. He says, is it okay to feed a pregnant dog raw bones? I usually feed my dog's leg quarters. I stopped, though, when she got pregnant. Mr. Garcia?
Yeah. Shouldn't be a problem, I like the beef bones, my dogs would eat anything. Literally anything. Didn't matter. Could be lettuce, salsa, this and that, But like, Bach and I mentioned on an earlier show, I don't recommend cooking the bones. If you're giving them leg quarters, they could eat the whole thing. I like the beef bones because they get to work their mouth a little bit, calcium, all that has a lot of benefits. But I would not cook the beef bones. I'd done that before, and my dogs ended up choking on them. Because they'll get it down to the nub. If you don't take it away, it gets real soft. They'll break it up and they can choke on it. So with raw ones, it's harder to do that. And when it gets too small, just take it away, because they'll get to the point where they want to swallow it, and if it's too big, they'll choke on it. But as far as health, or you think it's going to mess with their pregnancy, it shouldn't. Unless there's some new science that says it does that. I never had a problem with it. It shouldn't be a problem,
Yes, sir. Welcome down, Ram. Big Stepper, you there, bro?
Yes, sir. What's cracking?
What's up,
Steppin'? What's up, Big Step?
Oh, shit, man. Fucking working on my goddamn car. Had to go get a new fucking water pump and shit. You know how that go. Life of a mechanic, street racer.
Yeah. I got to take mine in. I got a problem with the steering and the what is it? The compression or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm going to have to talk to you behind the scenes, Ram, about my shit. Yeah. I just spent $10,000 on the new engine, and then the check engine light come on a month later.
Oh shit!
With a fucking sign that say Stabila track, service traction control, and all this dumbass shit, man. It's fucking ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Once you pay $10,000, you supposed to be good forever.
Yeah. You supposed to be able to drive that motherfucker to the moon and back.
Yeah. Right. Like, I don't want to hear this shit, man. But Ram.
Hey, Ram.
What up, OG?
I just gave you some props for your excellent judging at the show. So if you start getting calls or email message, people want you to judge confirmation. It's my fault.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, just remember, today's price ain't yesterday's price.
Yeah. Gas goes up, Ram's price goes up.
Hell yeah. I appreciate that though, man. I had a good time out there with y'all Cali boys. It was pretty dope.
Yeah, that was
there was
fun,
some good looking dogs out there too that came in shape.
Yep.
Like the homies pulled up, but they shit wasn't in shape. I couldn't get them nothing. The motherfuckers actually work their shit. You feel me?
That's it. That's the difference between. Well, we'll get into it in a question, but that's the difference from the past and now. especially the girls, man. They get out there, they work them damn dogs, and they have them looking good, you know.
Yeah, especially that one chick that was there with that good look, that red chick with that red dog.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Man, you
Yes,
should have
sir.
took some pictures of that chick, not the dog.
Yeah, I did.
I was on her on the live too long. You feel me? I was like, oh shit, let me look back at the dogs. This might be somebody's wife, nigga.
Yeah, that's right. Salute Mr. Gumbo in the super chat. Appreciate the love, fam. He said, "Thanks, fellas. Now I feel guilty. Y'all ain't right."
I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry.
Gotta tell the truth.
Ram, what's your take on is it okay to feed a pregnant dog raw bones? He said he used to give his dogs leg quarters, but he stopped when she got pregnant.
Man, I ain't never had no problem with that. Like, you gotta think of it like this: if your dog was loose in the wild, if she caught a rabbit, she would eat the bones too, if she was pregnant or not, and would nothing happen. You feel me? It's the cooked bones you gotta worry about the most. So yeah, as long as it's raw, shit, feed that bitch that shit. Her stomach acid to digest that shit before it could fucking poke through one of the puppy sacks or her intestine or any crazy shit you might conjure up in your mind.
Yes, sir. Brother Bach, what's your take on that?
Both brothers gave a compelling, good story, and I agree with both. Me myself, I don't give it to them. When my females come, when I breed them, of course they're up in a brood box, a breeding box, and I have them up there eat. They eat a whole lot of organ foods. So I mean, they eat hearts, livers, gizzards the whole time with and if I was to give them raw chicken and stuff, it'd probably be cut up. But the bones, like you said, I've never had a problem. But my cautious ass start doing everything just to make sure my pups come and the female don't have no complications. So, like he said, I've never had any complications with my dogs eating raw. But for some reason, I just give them a whole lot of livers and gizzards and hearts and all that during that whole time, even the whole 6 weeks while the female has the puppies.
Yeah.
So no, I don't even give them anything with a bone.
Yeah, the organs and liver and all that has a lot of nutrients in it. That's why we feed that kind of stuff. I used to give my females more on the beef side. When they're pregnant for the iron and
right.
B5, whatever it has, and mostly because of the iron content. So I give beef tri-tip, and when we barbecue and I give them beef liver a little bit. It's good for them.
Yep.
Keep them healthy. And that goat's milk. Don't forget the goat's milk. I've been telling everybody now.
Yep.
Yeah. I had a bitch named Bella. It's on YouTube. I think the video's still on YouTube somewhere. A little bitch named Bella. She was a Jeep REDBOY dog. She was pregnant. She was fat as fuck. Like she had plenty of puppies in that motherfucker. And I was feeding her raw chicken leg quarters and shit. And I stopped doing it later in the pregnancy because she stopped eating them. She started eating like one and burying the rest of them. Like, what the fuck you burying the food for? You stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wasting my food and shit. So she started burying them and shit. But
yeah.
But she has some big, thick bone fucking puppies. Only thing is about her, I wish I wouldn't have got rid of her, but I got rid of her because I was pissed off and emotional because she killed one of the puppies and refused to feed the other ones. So I said, fuck you, bitch. And I got rid of her. I gave her to the worst dogman I know. I was so pissed off. I'm over here feeding you, giving you water and shit, and taking care of you, loving you, and you don't want to feed your puppies? Fuck you. I was mad as hell, but then I regretted it when I saw how the good quality those dogs was. I said, shit, fuck that. I should have just kept her ass and shit, man. Yeah. And just kept bottle feeding them damn puppies. But yeah.
Well, like I said, long as the stuff was raw, the bones were raw, I didn't have a problem. But also, like Bach was saying, you just want to avoid, any little thing that might happen. Not that it is, but in your mind, you might say, well, if they have a problem with the bone, they don't really need it. I don't have to give it to them. You just kind of eliminating, you know, they're pregnant anyways. They're a little bit heavier, and all this shit starts getting in your head. You know, it's not a necessity to do it. You know, and it's just a precaution you might take by not giving it to them. You know.
Plus, if I can add, when that happens too, I automatically start boiling a lot of the chicken and giving it, because I want all of that fat of the chicken broth. And I'm now I go to cooking the chicken when they pregnant. You know what I mean? So I cook it and use all of that fat.
Yeah.
And then I use the rice. I get the brown rice, and I have a whole bunch of that with that, and I had them sucking that all up. And then I add the clovite, like he said, and I even put the goat milk. Right. So the clovite does wonders. I got into the dogs with clovite. Everybody, like when I first got the dogs, had clovite in their house. I hardly see anybody with it now. I mean, I'm sure, you know, I ain't seen it in a long time, but I don't know if anybody's still using the clovite. But that really had my puppies, along with that goat milk and the chicken broth, along with the chicken and rice I put together with it. And the puppies be fat as I don't know what. And the female don't never get skinny. She never loses her weight through my whole time that way.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm glad you said it, Bob, because a few years back I posted a video talking about, you know, sometimes I would cook the chicken leg quarters and take all the broth and stuff and give it to the dogs too. And I would take the meat off of the bones for them. And people was lighting me up. Oh, you don't know what the fuck you doing. You can't cook the meat. Dogs eat raw food. What the hell are you doing? You know, stupid ass people.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's been something that go back and forth, because I used to cook my meat too, you know. And the thing, you know, the thing with meat is the protein. That's what you're looking at, you know.
Right.
For the most part, it has nutrients, it has niacin, has vitamin, you know, A and C and all kinds of shit in it. And you might have some run off of that a little bit from cooking it. But it doesn't do anything to the protein content. Very little. It doesn't have an effect on the protein. It pretty much stays the same raw or cooked. I just don't like nasty fucking raw food for me or my dog, you know. But to back me up, I asked, you know, Mr. Gray one time, because everybody does raw, you know, a lot of people, and it's good. It works, you know, as long as you have a balanced diet, the right dog's getting the calories and the nutrients they need. Whatever the fuck you feed is good, as long as it's quality food, whether it's kibble, whatever, right? So I asked Mr. Gray, who I consider, you know, great conditioner. I said, "Do you cook your meat?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, I cook it, you know, like you see in them old keeps, you know. You just sear it a little bit, or you cook it a little bit, drop it in the hot water while it's boiling, take it out. It's just to get rid of the bacteria that may form, you know, in the blood when it hits air, you know. So that kind of made me feel good. Well, shit, he does it, I did it, so I'm good, you know, like that. But I'm that way with the food. As long as it's good food, quality food, you got a balanced diet, you got all the nutrients you need, even supplements and all that. It's good, because there ain't no best, there ain't no this is the only way to do it. Conditioning, food, all that. There's a million different ways you can do it, and you just gotta practice and see what works for you. And you know, if it's good, it's good. If it's shitty food, don't matter what you give them. It's crappy food, man. They ain't getting what they need. So that's kind of how I looked at it, you know.
Mm-hmm. And no matter what you do, that dog ain't living to be 25. I don't give a fuck what you feed him, how much you walk him, what the fucking condition like. He's not gonna be 25. It's not gonna happen. Yeah. So I don't know what they lit me up with that shit. Oh, cook your meat. You can't cook your meat. The dog's.
Well, what do they think of the dog food? What do they think of the kibble? That's cool.
Right.
That's
it
cool.
Is.
You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
Yeah.
People crazy. Salute to Zachariah 23 in the super chat. Appreciate the love, family.
Salute, brother.
He says, historically, have y'all ever had a match with you, with just you, your competitor, and the ref, or do you have to have a crowd, or is it, or does that not count? Sound like you're trying to work on something there. How about you? Let's start with Ram. How you feel about that, Ram?
Shit, I prefer a private show like that, you know. fucking 2 a side and the ref, let's ride. You feel me? Other than that, that shit gonna turn into a carnival, man, and you're gonna pull up and you're gonna be like, what the fuck? Man, King Cuban Snoop rapping. Now, how did that happen? Looking ass. Because that's not what you signed up for. You know, this shit ain't like back in the day where that shit was cool. You could do it with a bunch of people and you could get in there and stunt and all that good old shit we like to read about and fantasize about. Them days is done, buddy. So it still count. You got a date, a weight, and a ref. It could just be y'all two in there. You know, technically you don't need a number two. You know, that's the number two, really, just to watch out for the cheating, to watch the dog for you type shit. You'd hope. You could do that shit yourself if it's just two of y'all in the ref. It'll still be official, as long as it ain't no fucking off the couch bullshit.
All right. What's up, Melvin Brown? I see you in the building. Salute to you. Salute to everybody in the chat. Brother Bakary, what's your take on that comment about needing the crowd?
Well, Brother Ram just said, back in the day, I only wanted crowds. I only wanted to come to big shows. So if it wasn't 150 to 300 people there, I wasn't even going. I wanted to make statements and win best in show everywhere I went. So you couldn't really get the best in show when it was just you there. So I was going for best in shows, you know what I mean? So, but like Brother Ram said, had I been still into that today, I wouldn't want nobody there but my corner man, a ref, the corner man, and the other person there. That's it. I would, but that because it'd be harder for me to, got into any type of trouble. Because for everybody that's coming, you don't know how many people they got to trail with the folks looking at them, and then you just get caught up in some junk that it wasn't even the dogs that they was after.
Exactly. Like that's what happened in Texas like 10 years ago.
Right.
Motherfuckers followed them, looking for the sack and pulled up on the match.
Right. And that's happened several times. So, so no, it's first of all, as Ram said, it's legal. All you need is a way to date, a ref, you and your corner man. That's it. You don't need nobody else.
Mr. Garcia, your take on that?
Yeah, I didn't. Well, even back in the day, there were in some places, where you had like 5 to a side. I never was part of that. If it was a single show, there was, there could be 30 or 50 people there. If it was a convention I had, there could be 100, 200 people. It was more wide open. But even back then, in some places, some people, it was just a few, and that was good. As far as it counts, yeah, like I forget who just said it, but you got the Ram, said you got to wait, a date, a time, a ref, rules, conditioning, forfeit, all that. It matters, man. It does, that there's no stipulation on who's there and who has to see it, but even back then they had a lot of it was, on the East Coast, they had private shows because, you're in the city or whatever it is. But out here, man, it was, anywhere to 30 to 300 people sometimes. I think I had one show and I counted there was 300 people there. So it was a lot. But that was fun back then. You running the way we did, it was fun. It was, you under some pressure, you always worried no matter what, but you kind of put that to the side. You don't think about it. I guess we were stupid,
No, it wasn't that. It was just a lot of misdemeanors. It wasn't no felonies back hardly. So when we was doing it, who was worried about somebody coming there and giving you a goddamn low ticket? That's what.
Yeah, so, you go get your dog back and everything. Now your ass going to the feds.
Not only that,
with the mafia cartel for a dog.
We were breaking and get our damn dogs back then. They didn't. Well, it was easy. You take our dogs, we just break right in the joint, take all our dogs back out the same night.
Yep.
It was different back then.
Yeah, it was different. That's for sure.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Even at that dog show, the confirmation show, we had people from back in the day. They were coming up to Angie and, hey, I remember going to your house. That was good barbecue, man. Good barbecue, and the shows out there in the country with the orchards and all that. So you know, 30 years later, they remember Bach was there. You know, they just
that was a
remember.
beautiful place you had, brother. That was that was one of the best places I had. And that was, you know what? That's the only place I ever been where it was that fewer people.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but it was you and your family made it very hospitable. The hospitality was off the charts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was
Angie cool as fuck, man. I like Angie. Tell her I said what's up, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get out there with y'all on the next one, man.
Yeah, come on out.
That's the home girl now. That's the OG home girl.
Yeah, she's good people. She just kind of, you know, she's that way with people. She's nice and all that. She know we're doing something, you know, and she just go along.
She's second to none, bro. He got a good one there, Ram.
Oh yeah, I seen it. She was doing all the work. Me and him was big
like I say,
he was not lying about being lazy. He's like, I'm lazy. My wife do all the work. That's fucking real talk.
That's why my friends, dog friends, like her more than me. You know, they always back her up. She do.
Well, you know what, Rich? After I came to your house and she threw everything off the damn kitchen table and put my dog up there and tried to save it, I was like, "Damn, Richard, we just come to the wife spot all the time."
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Huh? You're right.
You know?
Salute to Mr. JW20 Texas in the super chat. Appreciate the love and support, man. Says salute to me and the panel. Salute to you, family.
Much salute. All right.
Salute, brother Pelican Bay. I see you in the building. Pelican Bay Kennel. Salute to you, family. Trenton Wright in the super chat. Appreciate the love. Says finally in the chat, how can I get my hands on Schoolboy's books? Shout out to my boy Ram. Love the topics, responses. Accept my if I request. Accept my if I request on IG. He said accept his request on IG.
All right, yeah, I got you when we get off here. If I go do it now, it'll kick me off. I had to get back on and all that old shit. I got you though, Trent.
Salute. We got
the book just get a hold of me on Messenger, Facebook Messenger. You know,
the link to the Facebook Messenger is in the chat. In the description underneath the video.
Appreciate it.
Yes, indeed. Andre Wilson, salute to you in the super chat. He says, "Is the grand champion Pedro blood a good cross?" You should ask Brother Thompson Kennels about Pedro blood. If you're talking about the same Pedro, is he talking about the same Pedro? Ram, do you know?
I think he talking about the old school grand champion Pedro.
Snake
Snake Man, the old biker dude. Pedro.
He has a good cross.
Yeah, if you could find it in working form, yeah, hell yeah, get that shit. Cause a lot of that shit you think is, you know, for mouth and roughness, but a lot of that shit is game as fuck, bro. That's like that's one of the hidden jewels of the Eli shit you get. Cause that shit is pretty fucking game, you know, consistently.
Yeah.
If you go back and read Pedro match reports, he had some long hauls in there. He was a pretty game dog.
Yep. Yeah, it's good. It's good to incorporate it if you can. You know, they like Ram mentioned. You know, they're not the devastating type. You know, like that, but they're steady. They're strong. A lot of them are game. You know, I refed one. He went 204 against LA Dream Team's champion Wyatt. He just would not quit, man. I mean, would not. He got his muzzle butchered, and he just kept trying and trying and trying. I seen several bred down from him. You know, it's good stuff.
Okay. Let me ask a question to Brother Bach. This is, you know, whenever you on your schooling methods and stuff like that is legendary. You know what I mean? So I want you to expand on that because people always ask questions about Bach schooling techniques. You know, could you you're very open about it. So could you tell us about your schooling techniques in the past?
Well, I think you're talking about in terms of when I was saying how I get them on the different styles and how I use.
Right.
Okay. Well, yeah, I had mentioned it before. Well, like I
Don't say
said,
too much, man. God damn. Give him some good old
Man,
tips,
let that
man.
man
Come
cook.
on, Kev, man. God damn.
Let that man cook, man.
you know, yeah, like I said, well, I hear things where people to say, well, they only need to see like 2 or 3 times, and they feel pretty confident about going out hunting, and I can't tell anybody what to do. I mean, because to each his own. Me, like I said, especially in that time, because and I'm not saying if things are going on today, I would have no knowledge if anything's going on today, but I'm sure if it was, competition's competition. But back then, you just couldn't want to just go out there taking junk. I mean, just taking some stuff and going into the competition, you was gonna get beat. But anyway, so I wanted to make sure mine were prepared. And then, like I said, they all had so many different styles. So you go out there and your dog has never got bit in the private areas, it'll be a shock to them. You understand? And that's what happens a lot of times when it happens. A lot of times the dogs will panic, and because they never got hit there. So to make a long story short, there's no way that a person could say that I have 20 school dogs. Nobody got 20 school dogs. Hell, some people ain't even got 20 dogs. So then you have to say, well, how are you going to prepare your dog out there if you don't have school dogs to see where they had their problems with? And again, you can have dogs that like to swap it out, but they don't like nothing on their muzzle, or they don't like nothing on their bottom jaw, or they don't like nothing in between their eyes, or they don't like nothing on the back part of their ear. They don't like nothing on the top part of their head. They don't want nothing on the nose. They don't want nothing on the side of the jaw. All of that, a person say that's a head dog, but every head dog don't hit all those spots. You got a head dog that may just stay on the ear the whole time. You got a head dog that just eat the muzzle off and don't go to the bottom jaw. So you understand? So in order for your dog to be able to, and at least the way I seen it, is I wanted to be prepared. So I would put a dog or two and put them on my dogs. But that would be what I would do from when they were puppies, meaning from 6 months, I would already introduce the ones that already act like they want to go against other little puppies, just so they've been touched there. So not only it won't be a shock when they get hit there, also it'll make them, as I keep doing it to them, as they continue, I might do this 15 times. Okay, but it might only be 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 7 minutes. You understand? Until a real roll comes up as they get older. But I've already familiarized my pups knowing they already throwing their sides to the ground. They already know, don't let nobody get back there. They're going to bite your dick. They're going to bite your testicles. They're going to go in your asshole. They know this because they done got it done several times and they done did it. Then I had them do it as well. So yes, I would go ahead and put my dogs on every part of the dog's body, from their paw to their jaws, to their private parts, their stomach, high in the stifles, kidneys, air, everywhere, until they get used to they don't panic. So yes, that was part of my main part that I did to get them ready. Right.
Let me ask you this, Brother Bot, because I'm like if we're talking about, because this is all old stuff, ancient history. All right, have you ever ran into a regret or an issue with letting them hit them private parts? Have you ever ruined a dog like that, or you didn't do that long?
No, because again, I'm never putting nothing hard on that area. And when I do it, it's just like seconds. Like, you know what I mean? When I put them there, I'm getting them off.
Oh, you just want them to feel it,
I just want them to feel it, right? It's just so it's not a shock. So that when I do that several times to them, it's not a shock. And each time you'll notice they'll be less panicking about it. But then what happens is they also want to go there now because they didn't like it. You ever seen a dog? And I'm sure many seen this. You got a dog that only went to chest, but because you had that dog that was tearing his head up, the next time you looked at him, he might have went out for another show. And this damn dog's a goddamn professional head dog. Don't even hit the chest at all.
Right.
And one on the head. You'd be like, what the hell? But that dog said that didn't feel good. Fuck that. I'm going to do this now.
Yeah.
So
and you
when
see that too, Bach. You see that in boxing. You see that in boxing as well. When you see a guy jabbing, some guy hit him with a good body shot, his first instinct is hit him back in the body.
Exactly. So what I'm saying, a lot of times you'll see a dog mimic. You ever see the dog, you'll say, damn, this dog hit the muzzle, he go to the muzzle. That dog hit the paw, he hit the paw. That dog went to the back and head went to the. A lot of dogs will just mimic. Then you got some dogs that set the trend. It just depends, you know. But all I'm saying is my whole thing was just to get each dog acclimated so that if by chance one got past their guard and got back to the back end, that it wasn't a shock. Hell, you've seen a lot of dogs. Some people must have never rolled their shit against a back end dog. They get hit in the stifle and don't know and panic. Fuck, don't know what to do. They ready to get quit just getting hit in the stifle. You get what I mean? So, but that's your fault. That's the person who's schooling them. That's not the dog's fault. You understand? The dog never was ever hit there before. Never even knew the guard on it. So all I'm saying is I just wanted to be the best prepared. So on that part of my schooling, that's something I did about 15 times. Right. Just to get them to where they ready. And then as they get older, I didn't have to put them on it. No, I wouldn't put them an older dog because of course they could hurt it. But I would just go ahead and now and just see, you know, of course, how they able to school out and who's ready, who's I felt that was able to go from there based off of what I've already had them exposed to, and then their own style that they already had previous to whatever I done. You understand? But that was one of the main schooling tactics I used. You know.
Okay. Right. I got one more question for you, Bach. This is just my question. When doing that, over time, is it possible to start breeding dogs that already have those traits in them?
Well, let me just say,
those defense mechanisms, I mean.
Well, I'm not going to say that because I exposed them to something. This hereditarily is about to start making a new crop of dogs that come out with that. No, I will be lying if I said that ever happened. But what I will say is this, and this will go for every brother here on the panel. A lot of times, again, like you hear me say, I don't breed for pedigrees. I stopped that a long time ago. I breed for traits. So again, if I like a head dog, why the hell I'm gonna be putting these back end dogs and foot dogs, paw dog? That's not what I want. I want a superior head dog. So I'm going to continue breeding to every line that I know, not just a dog. No, a line, a family of dogs that fight the head. Then that's what I'm getting. If I want dogs that are killer chest dogs, then of course I might have a little head in it, but mostly predominantly chest and front end. You understand? If I want dogs that keep hitting the back end and they good, they know how to play the front if they have to, but they're back end specialists, then I go for the trait. And then I like the trait which mines would do what they're going to hit front and back end. Okay. So and any dog that hit front and back end and is finishing, but you know, that's what I'm gonna breed to. And that way you're gonna see the traits you like. And so everybody has a certain trait they love. If gameness is the overall what a person looked, then they're gonna just continually breed into a lot of game bred dogs, family of dogs. You understand? That don't mind going 3-4 hours. That's what they want. They're not going to say, "Oh, we'll be looking for the hardest mouth killing dogs." No, they're going for a dog that can take you out and in the deep waters, and they primarily want to get you in the summertime. They don't want to go to winter. They want to get you where you're going to have to really think about how game you want to be. And if you can't get to them within a certain time, they know that clock ticking against your ass because they shit made for this. So it just depends on your style. It depends on the traits. But no, what you just said, no, I wouldn't say that would happen just due to my schooling. No.
Okay. The reason I asked that question, I'm going to Mr. Garcia on this. The reason I asked that question, and I want your opinion, Mr. Garcia, about over time by selective breeding and teaching your dog those things, what Bach is saying, can you start producing dogs that naturally have that? The reason I asked that is because I saw interviews where, you know, old school Dogmen would say stuff like, "Oh, I only looked at him one time and I knew he was going to be a grand champion." And then, you know, I didn't have to look at him but one time, you know. And I'm like, well, damn, shit, you know, you looked at him once, and like he couldn't have shown you everything in that once in the 15 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever. How did you know? You know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm saying, Mr. Garcia?
Yep. I would say they're lying.
Okay.
and that, you know, not lying, but they, you know, a lot of people, they just don't give you that information. Now you might have a good feeling because you see, you know, they get that from Don Mayfield. He said that he looked at Tombstone one time for 10 minutes. He knew he was a game dog, you know. Along with that, you have to take, you know, he was owned by the Petronellis, and he was open to match for the Petronellis up in Massachusetts. They had him first. So along with that, they're going to tell Mayfield he does this, he done that. We schooled him like this and that. He's intense. He don't lose his focus. He don't turn. He scratches hard. Da 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 da. So I would guess that Mayfield took that information, looked at Tombstone, and said, "Okay, I see what they're talking about." And you know, he's what they said. So like that. That's
Right.
my interpretation of it. You know, you can look at a dog, and some do for, you know, a few minutes or maybe twice for 5 minutes, and they're going to take a chance on it. Okay, the dog has some ability. He shows this style, whatever, you know, and they do that. They're just taking a chance. And if it's your own dogs and you know them, if they're showing the traits that their ancestors did, and their litter mates, this and that, you just taking a chance. But to say the dog is schooled and has the knowledge and this and that, no, that you need that experience. But as far as the breeding goes, over time, if you follow those traits that the dogs have and you breed for those traits and the results are that they produce those traits, yeah, they become inherent in the dog. That's how you get these different styles, you know.
Right.
And like Bach was saying, you know, I did, you know, even though we didn't really know each other like that back then, share that information, you know, I did a lot of the same things he did, you know, and basically I wanted to see finish in my dogs, and I had a certain way of doing that, you know. Does this dog exhibit the traits of finishing, you know? And a lot of times I would do this stuff, like he's saying, by myself. That's part of the schooling, like he says. But when I talk to people, I didn't tell them that part. And
of course not.
and then, you know, I wasn't lying if I said, yeah, I looked at them 3 times and I did them. They had a whole lot before that, you know.
Right.
So you know, just because of the way we are with dogs and what we want and sports and, you know, his football, and I am a boxing fan and all that, you kind of get all this stuff together. If you like horse racing or cockfighting, whatever it is, and the stuff is just in you, and you kind of, well, I want to, you know, how do I go about this, and how do I know if the dog will do this, or what is he going to do if he gets bit here and this and that. So you just, if you got any sense to you, you just kind of naturally do those. Most people didn't, because they don't have that mindset. Now, as far as the traits go, and I had a post about this, regardless of how the dogs are bred, inbred, line bred, outcross, regardless of whatever bloodline they are, related, not related, this and that, blah, blah, blah. If you follow traits and you put like traits together, you have more of a chance of them dogs coming out with those traits, regardless of how they're bred. That's how you get the traits passed on. So if you put in dogs that exhibit this behavior and this temperament and this style and this biting and this air and this and that, you put those together, that's what you expect to get. And if it's done right and it works, that's what you're going to get. Doesn't matter how they're bred. If you're building families, or you're following this family, or you're keeping this family that way, then those families of dogs or bloodlines, you know, if they've been bred properly, they're going to hold those traits, retain those traits. So when you go breed to it, you know, that's what I'm going to get. But you can do it like I said, you put like traits together, you're going to get like traits. Even that's how I looked at outcrosses. I really didn't want opposite shit, you know, like they say, you know, well, you're lacking something here and you're lacking something there. So you put them together and, you know, you get a complete animal. You can do that. But that wasn't my way of outcrossing. I wanted dogs that had similar shit outcrossed and put them together, and then hopefully I would get the same thing except at a higher level, you know, more athleticism and you know, a better athlete, you know, like that. And the third thing is, if you, as far as you know, putting things together, one lacks this or one lacks that, or this has that and this has that. If you put dogs together that have the same positive traits, that's what you should get. But if you put dogs together, even if they're good dogs, with a negative trait that you don't like, or you think, well, it's not a big deal, if you put the negative traits together, that's what the fuck you're gonna get. So if you have two shy dogs, timid dogs, even if they're good athletes, even if they hard mouth this and that, I guarantee that fucking shyness will come out in them pups
all day.
But if you have one that's shy and one that's an extrovert, then you have a better chance of getting rid of that shy stuff. Don't put two negative traits together, basically, is what I'm saying, because you're going to fucking get it. It's going to compound it, and it's going to come out first. And they still may be good athletes and bite hard, all that shit, but you're going to get these timid, shy motherfuckers that I don't like. So it's like mine. I tell people, you know, negative shit about mine. Some of them were destructive chain fighters. If I put two chain fighters together, I'm going to get chain fighters. Or if I put one that's a chain fighter, one ain't, then I have less chance of getting a whole shitload of chain fighters. That's kind of the way breeding works, you know, when you putting traits together. So that's a little bit on that.
Yes, sir. Salute to Hamza, the Lionhead, up in the building. Salute to you, family. 88 Sports Talk. Salute to everybody in the chat. Ram, let me ask you, what's your take on what we're talking about as far as passing down those traits? As far as how Bach was saying how he schooled the dogs, do you think it's possible for those dogs to pick up that through their genetics?
Yeah, because once they learn it, it's downloaded into their genetic DNA makeup. So yeah, they could pass that on. That's like when you see a puppy whose eyes ain't even open yet, and he running like he chasing a rabbit and shit. He ain't fucking never even seen what the earth look like yet. But genetically, you know, his mama might have just been recently, you know, hunting some shit down, or his sire, and that's where, you know, I think it's coming from. So yeah, that shit can get passed down to him genetically, because I've had dogs that didn't show no finish, and I put them on my old dog shit, you know, and them motherfuckers was known for finish and the stifle and the throat, all of that shit. So they picked it up and they went on to produce that shit. Not, you know, a whole litter full like that, but their offspring showed those traits. Whereas, you know, those parents initially didn't, because their parents initially didn't. Their parents was, you know, initially like wrecking balls. They get in there and fuck you up, and you might die from the damage, but they ain't in there trying to finish you. They just hit so hard on your ass and open you up so fast and all that good old shit that, you know, shit.
Breaking up a little bit, Ram.
Those dogs, yeah, I'm driving. I'm saying once I start putting them on finishing dogs and they start being able to throw that finish, you know, and distribute that shit in the box, they start producing that shit, you know.
Yes, sir. Andre Wilson in the super chat, appreciate the love. He says, Mr. Bakary, how are the Dogs Foundation kennels put out?
Can't tell you. I don't really know what that man produced. I hear good and bad stuff. So it's like any other dogs. You're gonna hear good and bad stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. Okay, let's go to this next question. Historically speaking, have you ever seen a dog winning a hunt that gets picked up? If so, why? So a dog that gets picked up while ahead. Mr. Garcia, you ever seen that?
Maybe, probably once or twice. You know, the reason they would do it is because they may be winning, they may be ahead, but it's not close to being over, and they want to save the dog. You know, it gets to the point.
True.
You know, back in the day, we used to. There was this thing about, you know, you have these long, drawn out matches, and they're hard goes. You know, the dogs will excrete a smell at some point. You know, I don't know what it is. I've been told it's the smell of bile. I don't know. It's just something that I picked up on when you do a shitload of them, or you see a shitload of them, and the smell comes out. And when that smell comes out, if it doesn't end quickly or you don't stop it quickly, it's going to be hard to save them. They get at that point. Probably a doctor could tell you, or you know, something could tell you what that is. It's your body reaction to the stress, or to the loss of fluids, or shock, or whatever it is, you know. But I would say, if I did see it, that was the reason. They wanted to save them because, you know, this shit ain't gonna end too quick. I really like this dog. I want to breed him, and I don't mind taking the loss because I want to keep this dog in my program, you know. Other than that, generally it was played out. However it went, that's how it went, you know. And that's where you make the decision, especially if you're on the losing end, where, you know, I don't see where I'm gonna win, and I'm gonna end it. You know, I'm gonna stop it. Some guys didn't give a fuck. They're gonna play it out no matter what, because in their head they think, well, maybe the other one will walk away, maybe he'll quit. That happens too. But at some point you have to make the decision. I'm gonna let it go, or I'm gonna stop it, and it's all up to you. You know, so choose wisely. Because even people that say I don't give a fuck and they're just dogs and this and that, I guarantee you it'll play in your fucking head at some point in your life. You'll have nightmares over that shit. If you have any kind of compassion, or you're just a normal human being, you're not a psychopath, you know, or antisocial or something like that. And with all due respect, you know, you should respect the dogs, you know, and if you care about them, you know, and like I said, I was hard on them. I'm gonna let it go as long as I have a chance, as long as I'm in it. However it ends up, I'm gonna let it play out. But if it gets to the point where you know, ain't gonna happen, today ain't my day, I'm gonna stop it, and I'm gonna try and save the dog. It is what it is, as long as he don't quit. If they quit, that's another situation. But other than that, you know, there have been guys that have done that, and it's generally because they want to save their dog for whatever reason.
Yes, indeed. Mr. Bakri, what's your take on that?
Brother Garcia said it so good. For me to say anything other than what the brother just said, I would just be wasting a good time. Now, the only thing I will quickly say to what he just said, so that a person can kind of get a picture of it. Picture you're winning, but it might go another 20 minutes. The other one that you're on has lost a lot of stamina and ain't got much air to go on. But you're leaking, and your owner is saying, I can save mine now. But if I go another 20 minutes and he in the condition he's going to fade, even though he's going to pull it off because the other one worse than ours. And we can win this change, and we can go ahead and win this match. They love their animal more than they give a damn about that dollar or title of winning, whatever. Those people who Brother Rich said I respect and love most, because you have a lot of people that let their egos and pride get in the way. Then you got the people that I hear to say some of the most fucked up shit, like, I don't love them dogs. I hate hearing that shit, bro. I mean, seriously. So for those people, they really don't love the motherfucker, so they will want to get the win at all costs, even if this shit ain't but fucking for $500. And they will lose a goddamn $50,000 dog just to say they won. So it just depends, though. I mean, you know, people gonna be able to make the decisions based off of how they feel towards the animal. That's just the guy's honest truth. Me personally, I love my dogs above anything. Yeah, I wanted to win, but Rich seen me, Brother Garcia seen me back in, what was that, 90? Was that 90, 91?
90, 91.
Yeah, I tried to save my shit. He died on the table, but I didn't pick. I could have left from there to see if the other one was game enough to stay there or walk off. But I chose to pick my shit up, you know.
Yeah, I would just, well said, brother. I agree. I was just looking at some old magazines. I ran across that that report, and it brought the memories back and stuff. And even I mentioned it to Angie, she remembers too, man. Oh,
Right.
that poor dog, and that guy was nice, and you know, he
Right.
did the right thing, you know, he tried to save his dog and all that. So that's why I say
Yeah.
that shit sticks with you, good and bad.
Right.
Choose
True.
wisely. Choose wisely, man.
Right.
Yes, indeed. Another question we got here is, historically speaking, what's the difference between a dogman and a gambler? Is there a difference between a dogman and a gambler? And was one respected more than the other? I'll start with you, Mr. Garcia.
Well, if you're a dog man that competed in the past, you were a gambler, because that's just the nature of the game, you know. I would say a dog man is more respected because he's into it for the dogs. And I don't slight any gambler if that's their thing, that's what they like to do, you know. Back in the day, they liked betting on dogs or having dogs, even if they competed, you know. Most of them were not breeders, you know. They would acquire dogs if they, you know, if they made some breedings, it was one here or there, you know. But as far as me personally, yeah, I respect the dog man more than the gambler, because, you know, I'm a gambler too, you know. I used to roll dice and play cards and all that, you know. And, you know, you bet on dogs, and I bet on horses, dog, game fowl, all that. So gambling is part of the deal. That's, we used to say, you know, when you bet money, that's what makes it real. You know, you're actually putting something on the line. But the mindset of a dog man is always should be geared towards the dog, and you know, yeah, I have more respect for them. One necessarily as far as, you know, if you a breeder, conditioner, handler, and all that, or if you just, you know, a competitor, conditioner, handler, you know, one ain't better than the other, you know. The only advantage I see that a breeder competitor has is he breeds his own dogs, so he knows them better. And you'll have more success doing that than if you just acquire a dog. Some people are great. They can take any dog that's worthy of winning and win with them. But you didn't raise it. You don't know everything about it. You don't know how to condition it till you get it. You know, mine, I taught them all that, including the schooling, like Bach was talking about, and how to work, you know, the way I did my keep for the most part. So when they were grown, if they happened to make it, they already knew what to do. I already knew how to work them. I knew their temperament, behavior. I knew how to condition them. Smooth and easy. Just made everything, you know, like Bach was saying, I'm lazy. That's true in that respect. And I don't want to fuck with these dogs too much. I'll do that throughout their life rather than get something and then have to teach them this or show them that, or what do they know? I've done that. And it's an accomplishment, I guess, you know, for a lot of people. I give them that respect for doing that. But that's a whole lot of fucking unnecessary work, man, you know. And so that's kind of how I looked at it, you know, as far as gambler, dogman. Yeah, I respect the dogman more, but I respect gamblers too. They do their thing their way, you know, and it's just different situations, a different type of head trip, and different people and all that. They're both have contributed to the game, you know.
Right.
And someone like Danny Burton, yeah, he bred some dogs, but he was more of a conditioner handler. That was his expertise. That's what he knew best, and he was good at it, you know. Someone else like Ronnie Anderson, he did everything. He was good at it, you know. He bred, raised, all that, you know, condition, handle, all that. So I respect both of them. They're friends of mine, you know. And but I always geared towards the breeder competitor more than the gambler type of person.
Yes, indeed. Brother Bach, what's your take on the gambler versus the dog man? Is there a difference, and was one respected more than the other?
Big difference. Yeah, my respect is way more to the dog, man. I mean, you got people. I don't consider myself a gambler. Um, I don't have no money to lose. I don't mind giving it to somebody, but I ain't got no money to lose. So I'm pretty much going in there 9 out of 10. I'm coming home with mines and the money. So I wasn't just going in there saying, you know, that's why I made preparation so high in my keeps. I mean, even to the other parts of the stuff I told you in part of in one of your shows that I do every day until the show. I do a lot of heavy prep just to make sure I'm going to win, you know. So you got people that gamble, don't give a damn about the dogs. Like this, like Richard, they gamble on everything. Dice, fucking every football game, baseball game, basketball game. You know, just and I don't have nothing against those people, but their thing is just about the thrill of the possible win or lose with the money they put. My thing is I love the animal that I have. So I don't feel like I want to gamble with the dog's life if I can help it or my damn money. I'm trying to go in there and come home with both of them, you know. And other than that situation I had going to Rich, let somebody else condition my dog, fly all the way out to California. That shit never happened after that. You understand?
That's how you learn.
Right. You know what I mean? So but yeah, I mean, so I respect the dog man because there's a lot to be a dog man. It ain't shit to be a gambler. You know, fuck a mother gambling. He ready to deal with the consequence of losing. A dog man, he's ready to do that. Plus, he got a lot invested in this fucking dog. The family like the dogs. He got a feed in this motherfucker, all type of vaccines and bonding time. A lot of money with his damn chains and a whole lot of shit that got to deal with the dog. A gambler could just show right the fuck up there and ain't got nothing to do with nothing other than yo, who had pretty good one that one. Okay, can I bet? Yeah, I like to bet with him. That's it. I mean, you know what I mean? So yeah, I respect the dog man 100% more than a gambler.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Brother Ram, what's your take on that?
And the gambler is 9 times out of 10 the reason why the show get popped. This motherfucker don't give a fuck about nothing, like OG was just saying.
Yeah, they have no vested
Your
interest.
family, all the time it took. Exactly. It took forever to get this dog just in shape to up to this point where we at. Yo, dirty dick ass just want to show up with your bag. Like, them motherfuckers, I used to hog on like an old school, you know, Tookie Williams type crick when I see them at the shows, like, because they hoes in real life. So, hell yeah, you could bet. But I want, 60% of what you win, homie, or you got to go. So I'll pull the crip card out on them real quick. You feel me? This stuff ain't good for it just to show up with your bag. That's like a hoe to a pimp. You feel me? You gonna pimp on the bitch, she gonna have to hit your hand. She won't choose up. You feel me? Same with them. Whereas the dog, man, he got blood, sweat, and tears invested into this shit. And like OG Bach was just saying, your family like the dog, your kids like the dog. Like, you don't show up with that dog, win or lose, nigga, your family gonna be big mad at your ass because that was, part of the family to them. You could have won and got all the money.
Right.
Now your baby girl mad at you and your wife ain't trying to let you fuck. You got to go jack off in the bathroom or some shit. It's a hard life being a dog, man. You feel me? So I got to respect that.
Yeah. They don't forget either, man. They'll be telling you that shit 30 minutes later. Remember when you did that? Yeah. Yeah, I remember.
Man, goddamn.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how that shit be, though, So, yeah, salute to the dog, man, and the gamblers, run it up, homie.
And let me, if I can, let me just say this. Like, that's just like I done seen, and I done ref some shit that I couldn't say nothing because I'm refing. So you got 10 motherfuckers on a bet with a dude. Now, the dude want to save his dog, but the motherfucker's like, don't pick that motherfucker up. I got my money on it. Yeah. So he can't pick his dog up to save the motherfuckers. He got 10 motherfuckers hollering at him. Man, don't pick that motherfucker up. Shit. Fuck that. We ain't give a fuck. We leaving that motherfucker down. And he's sitting there, and I'm looking at this motherfucker like, man, that's why I bet my own motherfucking change. I don't need ear motherfucker with me to bet on my shit. Because can't nobody tell me nothing about what I'm going to do with mine. I don't want to hear shit. Don't tell me a motherfucker thing. You know what I'm saying? So, but when you got everybody bread, they done lost more good dogs that stayed there a little too long because the motherfucker shouting in there, man, don't pick that motherfucker. I got my bread on it. Fuck that. Shit.
And all you got to do to stop that is tell him you could bet with me, but if I get behind, I'm picking my shit up. half of them motherfuckers gonna leave when you say that, and the ones who really, you know, fuck with
Right.
you like that, gonna stay in bed with you still, you know. So, but yeah, don't never fuck. You bet on my shit. That's all you did. Fuck you. You shouldn't have bet on them. I'm picking them up. I got the chopper in the car. We could handle it like that afterwards, so we could get in the box and line it up after the bitches is done. Feel me?
Yeah.
Let's see who get
right,
back
Bob.
to show. Humans.
You didn't seen that shit, Rich. You can't say nothing because you're the ref. You be like, damn, this motherfucker, he game as shit. He just can't. He ain't gonna win. But this a good one. You can keep this motherfucker. He right. And then the one that's winning ain't nothing but a rank ass curve. I'm like, what the fuck? The better dog about to lie for nothing. For nothing. Y'all lost anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. They have no vested interest except some money. They don't care about the dog. They don't even care about you. Could be your friend, could be this and that or whatever. But you know, like you said, Bach, don't get in them situations where you depending on other people to back you up. They back you up if they want to, and if they don't, that's okay too. But you know, you learn that as you go, you know, because a lot of people they pool their money together. I know people, teams, that's what they do. They pool their money together, but if they tight, if they're a good team, they understand that. And I even had a friend of mine, he let someone else borrow the dog, you know, and the dude was losing, and he's like telling my friend, what should I do? He said, hey, you treat it like your own dog. And instead of leaving him there and seeing what happened, he said, okay. And he picked the dog up. You have those situations too. But for the most part, when you got backers like that, they don't give a shit, man. They just there for the money. And you the one gonna suffer. You're gonna lose a good dog and this and that. So try not to get into that situation.
That's how Greasy Corner Kid did with Homer. You know, they going in the Jeep with a $10,000 forfeit. Fucked off a good dog like that, you know.
Rather than paying the money, he went through with it. He could have given their money back and said, "Fuck it, my dog ain't right." That's part of it too. Yeah.
I didn't, and not only that, you'll see like, okay, even like the situation, even with me when Rich seen me, I never should have left fucking VA with the condition my shit was in prior to leaving the motherfucker.
Yeah.
He wasn't right to begin with. The one I had conditioned had that bitch dried in the motherfucker. But I let my ego and pride say, fuck it. We gonna go there. And I'm thinking this motherfucker had all type of goddamn IVs to get us straight, you know, to get us back before that, you know, the joint the next day. Yep. And of course he had nothing. I didn't know that until we got there. But to make a long story short, I had no business even putting the motherfucker in there. And sure enough, you know, that part didn't come up about that, but you know, it would have been if somebody would have said like, hey man, don't pick it up too. If that would have been me putting monies with them or they had monies, I'm just using that as a thing that there have been many dogs that should have never been in there, but then people backing is telling you the person who had a dog say, man, I think I'm gonna pay the forfeit. Motherfuckers like, man, fuck that forfeit. We can beat this motherfucker. You like shit. Our shit ain't right. But because they want the only gamble, they don't give a fuck about your dog, man, to begin with. They just want to gamble, win, lose, or draw. So a lot of times,
there've been people that said, I don't care if you got to take him in a wheelchair. That motherfucker gonna go and we're gonna do it. You know, they know they're not right. They still, like you said, ego and pride get in there.
Right.
You know, I always look at it like, you know, if your dog ain't right and you forfeit, you know, you're gonna lose the forfeit.
Right.
You know, and not do it. But if you do it, you're gonna lose the forfeit plus the whole bet. You're gonna lose everything.
Right. You're gonna lose the whole money and the dog.
That don't make no sense to me. Yeah, and the dog.
Makes no fucking sense at all.
Yeah. None. Yeah, but you know, humans sometimes ain't the smartest people on this planet, you know.
and the last thing to that. Now here go the other part. Once you fucked up and you see the other dog is showing you some curve shit on top, then you got to leave it there because you can't save them at a point now. So you might as well see if the other one going to walk off. Ain't no trying to pick it up after it goes to the point of no return. You might as well leave it there then. Because I've seen dogs who go 3 hours on top and walk right the fuck off, and the other one died. They done walk the fuck off. You know, won't scratch. And you'd be like, what the fuck? This bitch didn't quit. So, you know, you have to know when you can't come back leave it. Then you don't have to sit up there and worry about can you save it. You just leave that motherfucker there. I hate to say it. That was
no, it's true. It's true. You got it. How it plays out, you got to have the experience to know, make your decisions, and do that. I seen one where the dog was losing probably the whole way, most of the whole way, you know, and he started getting bit, and he didn't like it,
right.
you know, and as it played out, he kept scratching. He was fucked up, man, and he would get bit or growl or whatever, you know, cry and all that, but he kept scratching. He ended up winning. I seen guys where their dogs do that to save face. They'll pick them up, you know, because they don't want everybody to see they're gonna quit. You know, the motherfucker gonna quit. Correct. This one, it was iffy, and I thought, man, this motherfucker might quit. He didn't. It played out, and he ended up winning. The other one quit, like you're saying, Bach. He was on top. He just, fuck it, I'm done. You know,
right?
So there's all kinds of situations. You got to know how to read it and make a decision, but you also got to live with that fucking decision. You know.
Yeah, you got to live with it. You have to live with it. Yeah. Yes.
All right. Let's get to it. Good stuff. We got next question is, can the panel speak on what is a true peddler? What's the definition of a peddler? We talked about this a long time ago, but it always comes up because that word gets thrown around. Ram, let me start with you on the peddler.
A peddler, he don't give a fuck what he sell you. He just gonna sell you some shit. If it's good, it's good. If it ain't, so be it. He ain't gonna keep nothing off the litter because he gonna repeat the shit. He gonna keep breeding them on to whatever stud that's out there cracking right now, and he gonna find the bloodlines of the bitches that's cracking and breed his stud dogs to that shit. You feel me? He don't give a fuck. He just wants the bag. It's a peddler. It's just, you know, is the breeder of gamblers, you know, if that makes sense. We was just talking about how gamblers, you know, really ain't shit. Neither is a peddler. They kind of one in the same because they only want the bread. They don't give a fuck about the breed at all, you know. Now, if you selling good dogs and you consistently selling good dogs, and that don't make you a peddler. That means you pumping out that good motherfucking base, that old school free base. You feel me? But if you just selling shit just to be selling it, just cause you know the blood is there type shit, and you ain't check nothing but your bank account, your cash out, and that's it. You was a peddler, homie. You know. I respect the breeders that actually look at the dogs and then breed them more than I would a motherfucker who call himself a handler and conditioner but ain't check shit but steadily breeding what he considered to be his match dogs, and that ain't fucking producing shit. You feel me? Motherfucking breeders who take the shit serious, they done seen roles that's way more brutal and vicious and spectacular than the best matches you've seen in your life. The ones that serious, you know?
Let me go to Mr. Garcia. Good stuff, Ram. Mr. Garcia, what's your take on that?
Pretty much what Ram said. You know, people throw that word out for almost everybody that sells dogs. You know,
right?
They said that about Carver. You know, he sold good dogs. You know, and he didn't misrepresent the dog. He may have done what he did with the papers, but with pedigree, but he wasn't a liar about that either. He would tell you, I ain't telling you shit. This is what it is. That's what it is. So if you got a dog from him and he said it was a good one, generally it was. That's not a peddler. It's like Ram said. They don't give a fuck. They'll sell anything to anybody, misrepresent it, fake this, lie about that, and they don't care who buys it, long as they get their money. That's the difference. So short and sweet.
Yes, sir. Mr. Bakary, what's your take on it?
Pretty much like the two brothers said. I mean, a breeder to me is a person that's trying to uplift the dog game. I mean, breed. So a breeder is trying to put the best product out on the market. You know what I mean? They have a lot invested in it. I mean, they dealing with, like Ram said, most of them are making sure that they trying to make sure they don't have any faults in the they trying to make sure it's not no shy dogs. They want to make sure that they don't have any physical deformities or mental incapabilities where they can't function properly. they're going to try to make sure they put a good dog, solid, sound dog out. And most of the time, the most successful breeders, like a Pat Patrick, um, for one, or Floyd's or Tom's, a lot of the guys. The reason why they get a whole lot of return buys is because they left and got a lot of good dogs. So whether a person says, there's a lot of people that afford time, a lot of people don't fuck with time, but he ain't the number one goddamn breeder of all times for nothing. He's not selling everybody a cur. If that's the case, he couldn't sell motherfucking 50 goddamn litters a year. So whether somebody say what time lies on the pedigrees or this, that, and other, people for the majority part are getting dogs that they're happy with. Okay, so can anybody say Tom's a peddler? Sure. Can they say it's a breeder? Sure. Like I said, you can intertwine either one of them. Like Richard said, everybody now selling dogs a fucking peddler. I tell them, that's the dumbest shit in the world. I got my dogs like Richard got his dogs, and most people got their dogs. We had to buy them from some fucking where. So we didn't have nowhere to buy these motherfuckers. How was we gonna have them? So we supposed to get mad at the people that sold us the dogs? No, I was happier than the motherfucker. You know what I mean? So without the people who sold me the dogs, I would have never been shit. Ever. I just would have had doo-doo like everybody the fuck else would have had. If they didn't get quality dogs from a dog man willing to separate the dog from their yard and put it in your possession. Okay? So, and like I said, wasn't nobody going to gift you a dog and don't know you from a can of paint. You can't come in the fucking game and just say, hey, I'm going to gift you all these good dogs. I don't know you at all, but you just look like you're a good guy. Fuck no. Most people, you couldn't get no good dogs from nobody because most people don't let it go even if they selling the fucking dogs. They don't going to just sell it to blow Joe. So, like I said, a peddler, like you said, y'all both said, is one to just, they just in it for the money. It's not for the upbringing of the breed. So, yeah, that's the way I see it.
Well said, brother.
Yes, indeed. Another question here is, when is it fair? When is it a fair time to call your dog a bulldog or an ace? How do you know? Interesting question. Let's start with you, Mr. Garcia.
Well, to me, a bulldog is a proven dog, and you even get people, give their opinion on that, this and that, If you know what the term means, you know what a bulldog is, that's what it is. It's proven, and sometimes it's just a term that people use, I got a yard of bulldogs or this, but the real definition of the word is that's a good fucking dog, and he's proven. Now, whatever you consider proven, for me, that they got to be, they got to be game and half finished. That's basically it, And what was the other part of that question?
In the ace, the term ace.
I never really use that term for my own dogs, Others, it's like Dogman, I don't really say go up to people and say, "How I'm a dog man," or this or that. It's something in my mind. Someone else gives you that title. Your peers, people you respect, people that seen you. So if they were to say my dog's an ace or I'm a dog man, I got nothing but love and respect for them. That, Big Red or Champion Bill, they were bulldogs. I have all the respect for them. It's kind of that way. But if you've been in the game long enough, you understand what the word means. You know what a bulldog is. People have a tendency to throw these terms and words around just as a matter of, whatever. So a bulldog, is that quality dog, that high end dog, that has proven himself. And generally, it comes from the competition aspect, You did them, you seen them, other people seen them. They know that's a good fucking dog, and they'll tell others, They remember it, And Ace, that's just a top echelon dog. You know, can do it all, done it all, proven it all. You know, dogs like Art and ZEBO have been given that you know, Tornado, Queen of Hearts, like that. Well deserved. I wouldn't disagree. You know, but it's not something to just throw around lightly, and a lot of people do. You know.
Yes, sir. Brother Ram, what's your take on when is the proper time to call your dog a bulldog or ace?
Well, you know it's a bulldog once you game check him and he passed the test. You know that motherfucker ain't no Kurt. That's the only way you're gonna know it's a bulldog. As far as the ace go, that's a fucking far and few in between dog. So you know the aces when you see them or hear about them, and you never heard about a whole bunch of them, bro.
Now that Box here, I'll throw Tyrone in there too with them.
Exactly.
No, don't throw that motherfucker in there because I'm in this motherfucker.
Yeah, and
that's four-time winner, four-time best in show. That's some ace type shit. You feel me? You don't hear that shit every day.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is to win the best in show once at a big ass convention full of top flight motherfuckers of the world, Craig. You feel me?
Yeah. I just want to give you your respect, brother, because that don't come from me. I never saw him. That comes from people that I respect that did see it. So I take that to heart when they tell me that, you know. You know, Bach has never told me, you know, that motherfucker was an ace and this and that. He just tell me what he did, how he did it. And I have other people tell me he did this and that, how he did it, what he did. Bad motherfucker. Nothing but love and respect, brother. He deserves it, and so do you.
Oh, much love. Thank you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Even though I didn't bite a motherfucker, not one of the motherfuckers, but
you had your boy do it for you. That's okay.
Hey,
you know?
I had the hitman holler at that motherfucker.
That's right.
Just put my ass on the sideline and just from the peanut gallery.
Yeah, you just let him go, and hey, it's on him.
Right.
Well, Brother Bach, what's your take on that?
Well, again, you know, like I tell you on this panel, man, you know, you're going to start getting some dumb motherfuckers to come up here so that I can sound like when you have a whole bunch of intelligent people here there's rational thinkers. I mean, it's you know, like I said, it kind of gets repetitive, redundant, but I just say this. A bulldog, like both the brothers said, is a proven dog. It doesn't mean the motherfucker can bite hard. It don't mean the motherfuckers are talented or nothing. It just means that motherfucker have shown that through the test that we put him on, that he's passed it, showing that he don't look like he's going to quit. He seems to keep going through, you know, the process of whatever we put him on. He showed no bad signs. That motherfucker shows that going is what he wants to do. That's a bulldog. An ace is one who makes it look easy. Okay. An ace is one that can go through any style you put on that motherfucker, and it goes through it with ease. Okay, so even though you can be an ace and just do one style, just be a head dog and be an ace. You could be an ace and just fight the chest. You could be an ace that just goes to the stifle, and you just do it that well where nothing can stop you from doing what it is you do, even though they know you're going to do it. They know this is what you're going to do. Everybody knows so-and-so is going to go to your stifle. And I don't give a fuck if you put a head dog on it, another stifle dog on it, a leg dog. It doesn't fucking matter. He or she is going to do what she did to every fucking thing you put it on. That's an ace to me. Okay?
That's it.
Yes,
See, we need your input, Bot. Everybody, even though we get to the same point, there's different ways, you know, and different perspectives. And that's important to me, you know. I love it. Sometimes I love just sitting here, not saying shit and listening, man. It's good stuff. You and Ram, even Eli and you know,
I had to get back up here with Brother Eli, man. I meant to come up here with Brother Eli too, man.
Yeah, man. That's what I do, schoolboy. You know how I feel.
Yeah.
That's why sometimes I'll be slow to when it's a pause. I'll be slow because I'll be listening.
Yeah. Like, oh shit, did he stop talking? Yeah.
Right.
Let me say something too, because this been bugging me. me and Eli were talking about the Bolio dogs in the past, and he mentioned, you know, and I was telling him, you know, I knew dogs that were down from Bolio before he got stolen, this and that, when Sonny had him, and you know, they had bred him back then. And Eli mentioned the Crusher dog, right? And I said, no, I'm not familiar with him. Bullshit, that's the dogs that I was talking about. They come off of Crusher. It was Bull, you know, Daryl Hook, H&H Kennels. They called him Dr.
Right.
Hook back then.
Right.
It was him, Indian Sonny, and Mexican Dan that had that stuff. Bull, Rowdy, Aunt Jane, Little Girl, all that
Right.
stuff. But yeah, that was that blood, and it's Bolio mixed with Corvino, and then they added some Eli Jr. to it. Those were some solid dogs. That's old. That's back in the late 70s, early 80s. You know, they won a lot. I think Bull won 6 and lost 1. I mean, Rowdy won 6 and lost 1. Bull, I know, won at least 1. He even had they even had that a bitch named Rainbow. She was a 5-time winner, 1-time loser. She was off a Tombstone. I forget the bottom side, but those were the Bolio type dogs that I was talking about back then. I just wanted to clear that up. Hopefully Eli will watch this and see that I misspoke, and it was the dog Crusher that he was talking about.
Oh, he knew you knew.
Yeah,
he knew you knew.
yeah.
Because see, what happens is a lot of you guys, the OGs, you guys forget certain stuff.
Yeah.
But you know it, but you forget it.
Yeah.
Eli, he already knew. He told me already. He said Schoolboy forgot. He know.
Yeah.
He told me
That's what it was. Yeah. He was right. I had a brain hemorrhage or something at the time. I don't even smoke weed no more, and I forget shit.
No, y'all forget. You guys know when you got so much information in your head, you'll forget shit that other people haven't even learned yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that just happened like that.
Yeah.
But hey, this was a great show, successful show. I want to thank the chat for coming in. Thank you to all of the super chats. I want to thank the panel, Brother Bach, for joining us this week. And
it's always a pleasure to come here, brother. Always a pleasure.
Brother.
Yes,
always
indeed.
Great having you here, brother.
Appreciate that, my dear brother.
Yes, indeed, man. I want to thank y'all so much. I'm gonna get back and watch me some NBA basketball right now. But Ram, why don't you go ahead and give us a disclaimer?
Well, hold up. Before Ram says this, and I can just quickly say this. I know we tell people to get the super chat, but just quickly, the nigga Toby dogs. I love the nigga Toby dogs. Brother, Grinder Man has great dogs. I support his nigga Toby dogs. And one last thing, just for the Tyrone stock. Again, some of the best stuff that I know comes out the VA area that we have has been there since 1990, still today. So the blast about the foundation, Ken, I can't say much about their stuff, but in terms of a lot of the real good Tyrone stuff is coming right there from Brother Pig, and came from Jesse Hunter stuff that was from there. Big Mike Have and them, they have it there heavy along with myself. Just to put that out there. All right, brother. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Much respect. Yes, sir.
All right, brother.
Salute to you, Provocative Bully, in the super chat. Appreciate the support, family. Thank you very much. Brother Ram, give us a disclaimer real quick, bro.
Hey, man, as always, none of this shit is intended for, nor should it be used towards any illegal purposes. And if you is using it for that shit, man, keep it to yourself. I'm not going to be impressed by none of that shit, and neither is none of the OGs or the good brother 7-8 going to be. That shit ain't nothing new to a nigga like me, man. That's what I do. Long live Nip Hustle. It's the weekend, so shit, it's over. Tomorrow, Monday, scratch hard into that bitch, man. Right into the throat if you can. Come out on top and win the week. You feel me? Y'all be safe. Be productive. Don't be no bitch.
Yes, sir. Salute to Himmy James in the super chat. Much love and much appreciation. All right, y'all. Yeah. We'll see y'all next Sunday. Thank y'all for joining us. Spread the word, share the video. We up out of here. And make sure you go sign up. Register your dogs with Schoolboy. You see the link to that. The link to that is in the chat. Hit them up on Facebook. Schoolboys International Coalition, Dog Registry. We up out of here. Peace.